All right, we're here tonight with Kevin McGuire, one of the 4 finalists in APL this year. So, got a few questions for you. You ready to rock?
Let's go.
What are you drinking?
Got a little eggnog here with a little bourbon in it.
Ooh,
Touch of
nice,
class.
festive. So
hmm
we gotta start where the season started. We gotta start with the draft.
Yep,
You drew the number 1 pick.
I
Did you
did.
ever waver from Travis Kelce?
Not really. No, unfortunately, I had to miss the draft order party, but needless to say, I was pretty amped to get that top pick. Never happened to me before. I pretty much had Kelsey tractor beamed right from the start. I let my mind drift to CMC maybe for about a hot second, but I knew it was always going to be Kelsey, to be honest with you.
All right. So drawing the number 1 pick does involve some luck, and that luck provided you a non-quarterback who has scored 18% of your points for the season. It's kind of obscene.
Yeah.
So what would you say to the haters who say that your 10-3 record and most points in the league are due to luck? Maybe 99% luck and not.
Well, what I would say to that is Kelsey is no doubt a monster. Going to be the fantasy MVP this year, but he's hardly the only broski of note on my team. If you want to talk some numbers, I've got the 3rd ranked quarterback. I've got 4 of the top 16 running backs, 2 of the top 9 wide receivers, even 3 of the top 10 IDPs. Yeah, Tank, my IDPs are mashing. Even my damn kicker, who's a real nice young hoe, I might add, got some hoes in this house, is the number 1 kicker in the league. My stable is full of monsters. You don't assemble a team like that with luck. I'm talking to you, Tosa Trader.
You're building a pretty strong case. I like it. I like it. So that might be why you have the 1 to 3 odds to win the title.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. So obviously Kelsey had some influence on your team name. Can you explain the origin of Imagine If I Never Met the Broskis?
Yeah, I can. So my team was inspired by a dope track by Drake called God's Plan. Started using the term broskies during the early months of the pandemic. It evolved into Broski Day, which was a great day of golf, lunch, and beers at Calhoun and creeping on girls a little bit. Broski is a lifestyle, really. It's a term for your ride or die buddies, your flex, your dog. It requires a certain aura of confidence, and Kelsey embodies that broski vibe really better than anyone I know. His epic dance moves, sheer dominance on the field, and unparalleled contributions to my fantasy team make him the ultimate broski.
Ooh. So you also mentioned there's some other broskis on your team. Is it just everybody? They've all just embraced it?
No, they really have. I mean, the gif of him dancing on the page really just they all get inspired by it. They just love it. He just feeds off their energy, to be honest.
Ooh, nice. All right. So a pivotal point in the draft was when you got Deshaun Watson with the first pick in the 7th round. Kind of late. He's taken after guys like Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, and like you said, he's currently the number 3 quarterback in the league. So talk about your feelings when he was available there and what it's been like this season with him as your quarterback.
Yeah, Watson has really been a stud. I didn't really target him specifically ahead of the draft. I definitely knew I wanted to get a pretty decent quarterback, early to mid-round pick on a quarterback. If you've followed my team over the last several years, I've been blessed with some pretty monster quarterbacks, including Andrew Luck, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, pre-Jake ownership. I didn't have a 6th-round pick this year, so I was hoping that Watson would fall to me in the 7th, and he did. I was a bit worried when he lost Nook and then now Fuller this year, but that man could throw for 350, 400 points per game with Solo and Tank as wide receivers.
Ooh, that's tough. Was that year he had Mahomes, was that your first quarterback?
He actually was my first quarterback, and another guy named Wardad, you may hear about him in a future interview, was a little bit worried and kind of questioning my skill there, but I was dead nuts on, to be honest with you.
Nice. So you've touched on this a little bit already, but I mentioned your 10-3 record. It's the 2nd best in the league, close to the best, but 2nd best.
Yeah, that's
fair. You have the most points. So describe your level of confidence in this team going into the playoffs.
Please, bro. You want to talk numbers? I'll throw one at you. 1390. What's 1390? That's my average points the last 4 weeks. Everyone was scared of Solomon's self-proclaimed super team earlier this year. War Daddy, his horses. I've heard it all. All I did was storm back and steal the points crown from him from this year. And now I'm going for that trophy. Heard it here first.
All right. So you made some trades to shore up your wide receiver ranks, even though you had DJ Moore and Adam Thielen. Pretty good. So you might have needed like one more receiver, but instead you got a whole bunch of them. Essentially, you dealt a 5th, a 9th, and a 10th to get Michael Thomas, Justin Jefferson, and Keenan Allen. Any regrets on any of those trades?
Yeah, I got a few regrets to air out here, to be honest with you. First of all, I dealt the 6 and 10 for Michael Thomas, thinking I was getting 2019 Offensive Player of the Year. That's not what I got. I mean, his ankle was injured, and they started fighting people, so that wasn't great. He's been solid, but not worth what I paid. Hoping for some blow-up games here in the playoffs. I love my boy Justin Jefferson and his gritty dance. Probably my favorite NFL player. Swapping a fifth for a sixth to get him was just smart business. Finally, I was baited into dealing for Keenan from Jake. Wasn't really convinced I needed him, but he's a target hog molly with Herbie and decided he was worth a ninth. Now I have a monster stable of wide receivers at my disposal. And to be honest, I'm really not scared about trading picks. I do it every year and I still win 10 games. Bleed at.
Do you remember when Josh Jacobs was good?
It's getting tougher to remember. He's kind of an enigma.
Is your confidence in him faltering at all?
It's wavering. I was looking at his numbers compared to last year, and that's similar. It's maybe down a little bit, but I was really hoping for more, hoping for him to break out. He's a big question mark going into the playoffs. He might be riding the pine and let somebody else like Mike Davis step up.
Ooh.
Also,
Mike,
what was that?
Go ahead. Mike Davis is available with CMC out this week.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. He's also, I don't think Josh Jacobs is winning many fans in the fantasy football world after he posted on Instagram last week that he wasn't playing even though he was. Just don't be a bitch, man.
That's kind of a bitch move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are your matchups look this week? Who's going to light it up?
So I did spend a little bit of time today looking at matchups, and I don't really think I have any particularly juicy matchups based on rankings this week other than Keenan versus the Raiders. Several of my studs had down weeks last week, to be honest, and I still put up 1,200. I expect Kelsey, Watson, Chubb, Jefferson, Keenan, and Young Ho to lead me to the finals. Might even see Michael Thomas blow up in a shootout game versus the Chiefs if his running back can get him the ball.
Ooh. Any concerns?
Yeah, I think those are the main studs that I expect me to lead me to. But, I'm facing Scott today this week, so I don't know if it's a lead into the next question or not. Or
Yeah, it is a little bit. So you're facing the always intimidating four-time champion Scott today.
Yep.
What do you respect most about his fantasy football prowess?
I would say Scotty today has a quiet confidence about him that I respect. He does his homework and always fields competitive teams. I remember this year when he drafted Clyde at the draft in your garage. I looked over him and I said, fun. And he gave me the side wink. It's just classics today. Fortunately, it wasn't as fun after the early weeks of the year, but, that's just kind of the confidence that Scotty has. He was down and out after you lost last week, and he expected to be done. He even texted me that it sucked to be out of the playoffs. But then Eric Steelers laid an egg, and today came back from the dead, complete with the Undertaker gif sitting up out of the coffin. Overall, his running backs have some real juicy matchups and could throw down. Derrick Henry's a grown-ass man, but I hope someone grabs him by that gross-ass ponytail and just horse collars him.
What do you like about Scott today's overall prowess? Not necessarily fantasy football, just in general.
I've been friends with Scotty for going on 20 years now, and he's just a good dude. He's Bill Butternut. I mean, he's just as a legend in his own outright. Look up to him in fantasy football. He's definitely won more titles than I have, and I'm hoping to try to scratch out one for myself, to be honest, this year.
He also got his grill put together fairly quick compared to other people.
He did, and he offered to be the hot-ass Randy. Come over and help out putting mine together, too, so I need to take him up on that.
Nice.
Yep.
So Derrick Henry keeps you up at night on his team. Anybody else? The Jonathan Taylor matchup's looking pretty good.
Yeah, he's also facing a pretty shitty run defense he could crush. Herbert's kind of not been as much of a monster as he was earlier in the year, and I told him today straight up, I texted him, I said, your receivers outside of Ridley are truly horrible. I don't even know why DJ Shark's on your team. So I'm not too scared about his second and third receivers. Hawk will get him an average of 100 points. He's no broski Kelsey, but he'll get some points. So I think it's going to overall be going to be a pretty close matchup, but I think we all know who's going to come out on top here.
All right. So to that point, we kind of left it for last, but we kind of got to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
So it feels like we've been here before. It's because we have been here before.
Yeah.
To go back to 2014, had a nice 12-2 season, shit the bed in the playoffs. Went 0-2, finished in fourth. 2016, 10-4, nice little run, made it to the championship game. Nope, lost.
Nope.
2017, a championship game again. Did you win? Nope, lost again.
Nope. Tank and Corey, I think, for those 2 years.
2018, I think that was an epic year. That year, you may have had similar swagger to this year. 11-3.
That was Mahomes' year.
Yep, lost to me that year. No, it wasn't great. Last year, Greg knocked you out after 10-4 regular season. So, we've been here before. Things have gone so poorly for you. What's different about it this year?
First of all, why you got to bring up old shit? I mean, this team hits different for me. I'm
Just the
offended when
facts.
you said in your question, when you lose this week. I thought you were my hype man. Or all those 1 to 3 odds you were talking about. Looked at my record over the last 7 years. I've averaged 10 wins a year, and I have 2 second place finishes to show for it, plus a third second place finish a few years before that. But this is our time. The Broski's finna take down. I'm a big man and I'm a big shredder this week, and we will advance to the finals. So today, this is a message to you. You know I fuck with you the long way, but that comment was made from the nuts up. Do you feel me? Broski's out. 1 second, just gotta get the soundtrack going here. Looking at you today. Today!